New law will force women to serve in the military. So I've talked about this recently, where a new law that has been introduced in the Senate is pushing for women to be drafted if a draft is brought back. And it's a very interesting thing that's occurring right now. Now, not only would they be drafted, but it would also be an automatic draft. And there's a lot of reasons why that's going to happen. Of course, across social media, there's a lot of dissent. There are some women who are saying that it is not fair. It is not right to do this. There are other women who are saying that it's absolutely fair. It's absolutely right. You know, when you consider feminism and what the feminists have done, and now all the feminists are suddenly quiet. So we're going to jump into that. And by the way, guys, if you guys enjoy these videos, make sure to hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe down below. And of course, members for the channel do get new videos early. If you'd like to learn more about that, click the join button down below this video. So yeah, feminists right now are really silent. Like, it's literally grasshopper silent. Well, crickets right now, because what's happening is a new law has been proposed in the Senate, and it actually passed a major hurdle from the Defense Committee, which was basically had Democrats and Republicans on it, and they want to draft women. They want basically women when they turn 18 to be automatically drafted. So we're going to jump into the article. Congress weighs adding women to the U.S. military draft, and there's a bunch of articles where women are trying to and men are trying to say, oh, it hasn't happened, and it didn't pass. But here's what ended up happening. A Senate proposal, if it became law, would force some women to register for the draft. U.S. military recruitment fell by 41,000 recruits in 2023, reflecting ongoing challenges. The U.S. military is having a harder time getting Americans to join the armed forces, so Congress is weighing some options, including making women eligible for the draft. On June 14th, the House of Representatives passed an annual defense policy bill that contained a bipartisan proposal to expand the minimum age of the draft, which in the U.S. Last used in 1973 to bring men into the armed forces during the Vietnam era from 25 to 26. So they're going to raise the age. Currently, most U.S. men between the ages of 18 and 25 are required to register with the Selective Service. Now, here's the interesting thing. The same day, the Senate approved a bill that, if it became law, would force women to register for the draft. The House and Senate proposals have little chance of becoming law, in part because some Republicans aren't on board. This is where they're getting crazy. But as the U.S. military continues to face recruitment challenges and geopolitical risk persist across the globe, Congress could weigh reform to the U.S. draft system in addition to other challenges that could boost the number of active service members. Now, the thing is that in the Senate, the board that actually passed the recommendation that women be registered for the draft, that was you had both Democrats and Republicans on that committee, and it passed 23-3. So out of 25 people that voted for this, only 3 people voted against it. And as far as we know, 2 of them were Republicans. Okay? And in the Republican-controlled House, they also passed a bill which would make men automatically registered for the draft. So more than likely, they're going to reconcile the 2 bills into one. Right now, there's only a handful, like literally 2 Republicans that don't support this bill. But as you can see, 22 senators out of 25 supported it. And that included both Democrats and Republicans. That's very, very serious. So there's a lot of women who are trying to say it's not going to happen. This is what always ends up happening. They say it'll never happen. It'll never happen until it does. Until it absolutely does. And the number of people serving is very, very low right now. Not only is it low, but the number of people that can actually participate in the draft is extremely low as well. The draft is no joke, and women have brought this reality for themselves. They decided that, hey, we wanted to be equal, we wanted the right to vote, we wanted to, we were, we could do everything that men can do, and now every branch of the military, every role in the military is open to women. And you've had videos coming out for years showing, saying, hey, women are outperforming men in all of these different areas in the military, and oh, they're stronger and all of this other stuff. So that's great. There should be zero reason for them to serve. And the thing is, it actually went before. This actually went before a federal court, federal judge. And a federal judge found that a male-only draft was unconstitutional. And the Supreme Court rejected listening to a challenge of the male-only draft because Congress had been reviewing, bringing women into the draft or getting rid of the draft entirely. So they said that they would, and that's what the Biden administration requested. They said that please allow Congress to look into the matter further and vote upon the matter internally. And they've been going back and forth on it for years. It was supposed to be added at one point. Women were supposed to be drafted at one point, and then they stripped it out. And now it's back again. It seems like they play this game every couple of years, like, oh, we're going to draft women, and then they don't go through with it. But at some point, it's going to happen. There was a comment on one of my videos where a person went and they did the math, and they found that like 77% of Gen Zers are not even eligible to serve in the military because of being overweight, mental health issues, or substance abuse. And these are Gen Zers before they graduate from even high school. So this is insane. This is absolutely insane statistics. So when you do that math and everything else, you realize the number. These are the numbers that someone figured out. The number of people that are actually eligible to serve is so small comparably that they would need to reinstitute a draft to get enough men and women, for that matter, into the fields. And then women are no longer. They're no longer lacking skill sets. For example, they have, many of them are doctors, many of them are lawyers and nurses and engineers and so forth. People with those specialized skill sets, they can be drafted. And a lot of women have those skill sets now. So there are jobs for them in the military. They will be drafted. They will be brought into the military, and they will be put into field roles. It won't just be support. A lot of them will be in the field. And it's crazy because women have enjoyed the privilege of being able to have, all of these special privileges and get away with everything in society and have, blame men for everything. But now, guess what? They're heading into a situation where now, ladies, you're going to end up you're going to have to go and serve your country. You're going to have to go and protect, you're going to have to go and do all of these things. And no one is going to be there to back you up. No one's going to be there crying for you. This is just a reality that we are headed into. And this law is going to force them to serve. It really is. They keep on, because we know that a male-only draft is unconstitutional. Okay? Federal judge found that, and the Supreme Court has been waiting for Congress to respond within a reasonable time on this matter. What is a reasonable time? It's been years. It's been years at this point. So this could go right back to this. The Supreme they don't want to. Congress does not want the Supreme Court to intervene because they don't want the Supreme Court to then rule that the male-only draft is completely, that yes, it is unconstitutional, and that's the end of the male-only draft right there. Because then that's a whole other bag of worms. So they would much rather draft women and prevent the Supreme Court from intervening than risk this going back to the Supreme Court eventually, because that's where it's headed. They already know that it's illegal. The male-only draft is already illegal. They already know that. So the Supreme Court has been giving them time to, change the law so that women are drafted. And if they keep on messing around, they're going to find out, because they don't want to mess with the Supreme Court. And if it does go to the Supreme Court, it will likely be a unanimous decision that the male-only draft is unconstitutional. It was already found to be unconstitutional by a federal judge. This This is the reality that we are living in right now. And women thought this was a game. They thought they were going to mess around forever. And now they messed around. They're going to find out. You know, we look at the article and it's like the number of people who are actually serving has gone down. It's only 1/10 of what it was 50 years ago. The reserves are only 1/10 of what they were 50 years ago. Military reserves. All right. That's how bad it's gotten. In 2023, the U.S. military collectively fell short of its recruitment goals by roughly 41,000 recruits. A Pew Research poll conducted in January found that 43% of U.S. adults between the ages of 18 and 29 have had a positive view of the military. 43%. The congressional debate, that's only 43%. All right? So that means that 57% of young adults have a negative view of the military. The congressional debate about whether women should be included in the draft dates back to at least 2020, when a group of military experts recommended that Congress enact this measure. The debate comes as the U.S. military has taken some steps over the past decade to improve equality in the armed forces. As of 2016, women have been able to hold every military position. So there's no reason whatsoever anymore. That was the only reason previously that prevented women from serving in the military, because this actually went to the Supreme Court many years ago, and the Supreme Court found that women did not have to participate in the draft because they were not able to participate in every role in the military, and that was the one thing that kept them from being forced to register. Now they can hold every military position. As a result of that, the fact is now they're being given special privileges based on gender, and that is gender discrimination, and it was found to be gender discrimination by a federal judge. And the Supreme Court has been waiting for years, at least since 2020. They've been waiting for years now. It's been at least 4 years, going into 5 years, for Congress to take action and to either get rid of the draft entirely or to require that women have to sign up for the draft. But we can basically see where things are going. They're not going to get rid of the draft, because right now they're pushing for men to be automatically registered for the draft, because every year 100,000 Gen Zers are refusing to register for the draft. 100,000 Gen Zers are not registering every year. That's a massive number of people. Okay, so and you're not going to be able to get these scumbags. Like someone said this in one of my comments, like, you know, after like, you know, they try to go and get the Gen Zers, they're going to come for the millennials, because they're not going to be able to get these muffins. Gen Z are a bad batch of muffins. So after the U.S. government realizes this is not working out, they go banging on the doors, and these Gen Zers are sleeping in their mom's basement, farting and, you know, laying in bed, just farting loud farts after having a long night of drinking and jerking and everything else, you know, and you know, these sergeants realize they're not getting in, they're not getting these Gen Zers. These guys, you know, they're all doing drugs anyway, substance abuse, all right, fluffy white stuff, Fenty, like, you know, they can't really roll with these people. Like, they're gonna go try to get the millennials, like, okay, it's about responsibility, and it's like, you know, that's really it. It's messed up. They're not getting Gen Zers. They're not getting Gen Zers. And Gen X, if they mess around, they're going to find out. They better not go knocking on any Gen X doors. This is Gen X we're talking about. They really need to be very careful knocking on those wrong doors, all right? Stepping foot on certain property. They really need to be very careful with that. Really need to be careful confronting Gen X. That's all I'm saying when it comes to that. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, you want even more of this content, consider checking out the Men Walking Away channel, where I release daily videos. There's a link in the description of the video to that channel. So you can go subscribe to the Men Walking Away channel, check the content out, enjoy it. What do you guys think about this? New law will force women to serve in the military. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA Men Walking Away. And cheers.